All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Now this will be a sit down, different style of video, so I apologize because I get people that come from my Tacoma, my truck videos, and then for chiropractic. I've had people want me to make my own truck channel, but the thing is, I don't have a huge following, but I have enough of subscribers that I can monetize my videos. So if I start a whole new truck channel, it's like I have to start from ground zero. I put a lot of time and work into these videos, and so for me not to get paid when I'm getting kind of paid right now, it just sucks. So bear with me. I'll try to do an equal mix of both, but this will be a video based on chiropractic school, just the chiropractic profession in general, because I know I've had some interest, people wanting me to talk more about the whole process. I think a lot of people are pretty unaware of the schooling that chiropractors actually have to go through. It's unknown to people. People just don't really get it. They understand doctors, and they don't understand that chiropractors are doctors as well. People will be like, yeah, I don't really believe in chiropractors. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, chiropractic isn't a religion. It's like, it's a person, it's a doctor. We are doctors. I have my doctorate. A lot of people think that's like stupid that chiropractors have a doctor in front of their name, but I don't think they realize the schooling and the time and effort that goes into it. So if you did not know, I am a chiropractor. I own my own business called ChiroFit Gym. So I've been a chiropractor for 4 years now. I worked for another doc for like 2 years straight out of graduating chiropractic school, and then I decided to take a new route and kind of do my own thing. I'm gonna rewind, take a step back, and talk about what led me to choose the path of chiropractic. So I'll never forget this day. I was very athletic. I played pretty much any sport possible, every sport, and I was playing soccer, and this was the time around high school-ish. I struggled with back pain throughout my whole kind of high school career, but I was in a soccer game and I went to shoot the ball, scored it, of course, that's really all that matters. But I just remember this instant, like, I kick with my left foot is my dominant leg, but I kicked, and then like when I came back, I just remember this just like instant pain. Not even necessarily a pain, but I was just like, oh, that did not feel good. And so I continued to play, and it got to the point where it was kind of hard to run. So I'd go out, stretch out a little bit, and just keep playing. Like, I just did not want to stop playing. Sports were my life. So this was like very devastating to me because it's all I want to do is play sports. But I continued to play and play to the point where it's like it was hard to walk. And so I was seeing a chiropractor at the time. I just wasn't getting great results. And this is just shows how different chiropractors are. So it's like, if you're not getting results from one chiropractor, try another one, because like in my case, you never know, they could really drastically change your outcome. But I was seeing this chiropractor, not getting great results, just wasn't digging it. And then someone referred me to another chiropractor, so I started seeing him. I'll always remember this day too. I was getting ready for school, I was taking a shower, and I remember I went to put my clothes on, I put my head down, and I couldn't move, I couldn't put my clothes on. And so I just remember calling my mom, just bawling, because of course this is the end of the world. And I was just sick of it. I was young, and people didn't understand why I was in so much pain. And it's sad for me too now to see in my clinical practice young kids in so much pain, because other kids don't, or parents, they don't understand. They're like, this kid's just being a baby. So that kind of sucked too, because people just didn't get it. I didn't get it. It was super frustrating, but I'd gone to see my chiropractor that I was seeing, that I was getting decent results from, and he shot x-rays, and I had a stress fracture in my low back. So yeah, that just right there shows you why I was in so much pain. But yeah, from there we just took a different treatment approach. It slowly got better. I mean, the biggest thing for me was just sitting out of sports, letting it rest, and I had to honestly sit out of sports for like an entire year, which was the end of the world. It was horrible. But that's kind of my background with chiropractic. But honestly, until about my sophomore junior year of college, undergrad, I started to pursue the profession more. I always knew I wanted to be something along the lines of like sports related and medical related. For a while, I wanted to be an athletic trainer. That's the kind of path I wanted to go down. But then, so I played collegiate soccer at Minnesota State. That's where I did my undergrad. And so I was an athlete, and I saw the way that athletes treated athletic trainers. It's not great. A lot of athletes, not all athletes, a lot of athletes are kind of stuck up. They have an ego, and they don't treat the trainers well. Also, the trainer had to travel with us on the road every weekend. I was like, nah, I'm not doing that. So I thought back, I was like, chiropractic, like that's what I want to do. Like my chiropractor changed my life. That's what I want to do for someone else. So that's when I started to get more serious about it. But now I'll go into the schooling to actually get into chiropractic school. I went to Minnesota State for 4 years for my undergrad, where I graduated with human biology and a minor in chemistry. So I majored in human biology, minored in chemistry. And now I had to take so many chemistry prereqs to get into chiropractic school that I just ended up minoring in it. And actually, to be completely honest, to get into chiropractic school, like accepted, it's not hard. There's a high acceptance rate, but with that, there's also a high dropout rate because people don't realize that it's actually hard. So I did not know that the acceptance rate was really high. So when I got in, I was super excited. I took like my last couple of years of college very seriously. I did a bunch of shadowing, a bunch of stuff that probably was not necessary. Honestly, you don't even have to have that high of a GPA to get into chiropractic school. You just have to have all the prerequisites. But I also knew kids in my class that were taking their prereqs, which is smart, while they were in chiropractic school. So they take their prereqs as like undergrad while they were doing their chiropractic studies, which is a big course load, but also you get done quicker, so it is smart. So I went to Northwestern Health Sciences University to get my doctorate of chiropractic, and that's in Bloomington, Minnesota. So if you're from the Twin Cities, familiar with the area, that is why there's so many chiropractors in St. Paul and Minneapolis. It's very saturated, but that's because kids graduate from Northwestern and they end up just staying here. I did my undergrad at Minnesota State for 4 years, and then I went on to Northwestern to get my doctorate for 4 years as well. So a total of 8 years of college, I guess you could say, my undergrad and then my doctorate. And I chose Northwestern because I'm originally from South Dakota, so I wanted to stay in the Midwest. I didn't want to go to Iowa, and to be completely honest, there's not a whole lot of schools throughout the nation for chiropractic school. So I just wanted to stay in Minnesota. That's why I basically chose it. So like I said, the acceptance rate at Northwestern, or just chiropractic schools in general, it's pretty high, but the dropout rate is also high. So my class started out around 50-ish kids, and I'd say after the first trimester, after the first year, there's a large drop off just because it is a lot harder than people anticipate. For me, to be completely honest, it wasn't that challenging. I think Minnesota State really prepared me for the course load at Northwestern. I would say the hardest class initially was human anatomy. It is a very intense course. It was very difficult, a lot of studying. It's very in depth, very in depth. We were in the lab with cadavers, and that's actually really cool. But yeah, everything from the skeletal to the muscular system, had to know it like front to back. So that was probably the most challenging course and the most like people would fail. And that gets thrown at you right away. So that takes a majority of your time. But honestly, your first like couple of years, it's like a full-time job. You're there from like anywhere from like 7 or 8 a.m. to 5 or 6 p.m. depending on your classes. But yeah, it's a lot. So I believe to graduate chiropractic school, it's roughly 4,200 hours of coursework that includes labs, clinicals, internships. But so you do have to be in the lab for certain courses, the cadavers with anatomy, and then we had to learn how to draw blood as well, which I just did. Oh, I do not like doing that. I had to do it at my old job, and I'd have to give myself a pep talk every time I did it. I think because I personally don't like to get my blood drawn, so doing it to other people, I just do not like it. So I'm glad I don't have to do that anymore. But I don't think a lot of people know like this, like the stuff we actually have to learn, like draw blood. We had to do prostate exams. Like that was tough. Prostate exams, breast exams, people are like, why would you ever need to know that? Some doctors actually practice that. So chiropractic is not just adjusting. It's like we have to know the whole body. We have to know disorders. We have to know how to treat pretty much everything. We can't prescribe, we can definitely refer, but it's like we can't prescribe medicine to people. So we have to know how to fix the problem hands-on. So with chiropractic school, I'd say the first half, like 2 to 2.5 years is more coursework. You're in school, whereas the other half is more so clinical. We're out in clinics doing your internship. But throughout your course of study, it's all challenging in its own way. At first, your coursework is just so heavy that you're in school constantly studying. To be honest, I did study a lot, but like, compared to other people, like people would ask me like, how are you not living your life in the library? But a lot of people cram. I don't cram. I've never crammed. I've never pulled an all-nighter, never. I'd have a lot of roommates that would do that, and I'm just like, to me, it's so stupid. It's so stupid. But that's a totally different tangent. You just have to be smart, like time management when you're studying. Like just do a little bit every day. That's what I do, and I would never have to cram for tests, really, ever. Not to say that like courses weren't hard. I struggled with a few, but for the most part, it was definitely manageable for me, at least. I know a lot of other people struggled, but again, they just weren't prepared for chiropractic school. I don't know what people think, but it's challenging. So the first half is mostly schoolwork. The other half is more so your clinics, internships, that kind of thing, which takes up a big chunk of time too. I think towards the end, I can't remember how many days out of the week, probably 3 or 4, where I was there for pretty much all day and you're not getting paid, which really sucks. Some chiropractors will kind of under the table throw you some money, but for the most part, it's great. Like, don't get me wrong, great experience, but you're like, when you're done with chiropractic school, you're like, man, I'm ready to make some money. So you have to do that. You have to have a certain amount of hours, again, to graduate. And then after all your schoolwork is done, you have to take your boards. In order to be a licensed chiropractor in your state, you have to pass all 4 board exams, which are very tough, man, very tough, very nerve-wracking, but I passed all 4, studied a lot, put so much time into these, but you honestly have to. Each state is a little bit different in how they regulate it. The scores you need to get, I know Wisconsin, for example, has some higher scores than Minnesota, but you just need to pass them with the right scores needed for your state. I'm only licensed in Minnesota, so if I cross the border into Wisconsin and I'm adjusting, sure, I can adjust people, but you can get in trouble, and you never want to get in trouble with the Board of Chiropractic. You don't want to go down that route. So luckily for me, the place I interned at, I immediately started working out after I graduated. That's not always the case for everyone, but it's a good step in the door for sure. And to be honest, like, I started probably like not even a week after I graduated chiropractic school. And looking back, it probably wasn't a great idea because I got really burnt out. I don't think I took a single break from I went straight from my undergrad to chiropractic school to working. And it's a lot. It's a lot. You get burnt out for sure. Just like I went back to Northwestern. I have to go back there every once in a while to get my continuing education credits, which is another thing. Each year you have to re-up not only your license, you have to pay a fee for that, which I actually need to do, but you have to have 21 hours, 20 or 21 hours, I can't remember, of continuing education. So I went back to Northwestern. When I was walking through the halls, I was like, I'm so glad I'm done with this place, because not that it was hell, but it's just a lot. Like, school's a lot. Being in school for 8 years, you're ready to be done. But anyways, went straight to working. I worked for a doctor in Minneapolis, and I learned a lot from there, but I also got very burnt out. I was working a lot of hours, and all I was doing was adjusting, like literally all day long. It was a very high volume practice, and I soon discovered I was just like, I can't do this for the rest of my life. Like, this is not enjoyable. Like, honestly, I was miserable, and to me, I was like, sure, I was getting paid decent, but it just didn't matter. Like, my mental health, my physical health is way more important than the big bucks. But so yeah, I immediately worked for another chiropractor. Under another chiropractor, I had no intentions ever of working for myself. I don't know why. I was just like, no, I'm gonna work for another chiropractor, be an associate. But then it got to the point where, one, I was miserable. I didn't want to do what I was doing anymore. And I was like, you know what? I can do this myself, you know? It's a lot harder than just looking back. It's like, oh, young Leanna, you were so naive. But no, it definitely prepared me for where I'm at today. Even though it kind of sucked, I learned not just a lot clinically, which I did because I saw so many people and I saw so many different conditions. It prepared me that way as a doctor, but also as a businesswoman, a boss lady, because my boss was a boss lady. She was very good at just business and being a saleswoman. So, which is another point. You gotta be a salesman first, which sucks because I hate it. I hate being salesy, but at the end of the day, it's like, if I know what's good for a patient, then it's not being salesy. But yeah, you can be the best chiropractor adjuster in the world, but if you don't know how to be a businessman or woman, your business is not gonna go very well. So that's really just a quick look at chiropractic school. So I'll recap here. So I did undergrad, which you need to do because you need prereqs to get into chiropractic school, unless you start taking them while you're in chiropractic school. I don't know if all schools offer that. I know Northwestern did. It'd probably be a little bit more expensive, but you also get done quicker. So 4 years of undergrad, I majored in human biology and minored in chemistry. Went to 4 years of chiropractic school. Then after you pass that, you need to take your boards, pass all 4 parts of your boards. The first 3 are coursework stuff, and the last one is a practical where you actually like have to be a doctor and you're in certain situations, scenarios. Part 4 was honestly the easiest, but it was also like the most like I was so nervous. I thought like, wow, I was so nervous just because you have to be in front of people and like diagnose things. But I was very well prepared. So yeah, that is basically the school work. And then you move on to working. So you can either work for someone else or you can work for yourself. And to be completely honest, I'm so glad I worked for someone else because I know a lot of kids in my class who are doing very well, but they just went straight for working for themselves. And to me, it's like you miss out on, you can have a business coach and stuff, but you just miss out on learning from another experienced chiropractor. So I'm very thankful for that. Even though it wasn't the best experience, I think it really, really prepared me. So that's kind of a quick look at it. If you guys do have comments or questions, put them down below. But I didn't talk much about the chiropractic profession. I can do another video on that, but I love it. It's so rewarding. I enjoy coming to work every single day. I know there's a lot of people that are like, no one actually likes their job. I love my job. I love it. I love what I do. Not only do I just do chiropractic, I have a gym. You can't see it, but it's out there. So we do training as well as physical therapy. If you guys have been subscribed to me, I do more muscle. I focus more on the muscle work side. You can see on my wall back here, I have a bunch of massage guns, Graston, and cupping as well. So I do a lot of that. I still adjust. I do both, but we kind of have everything going on here. So I do work for myself. ChiroFit Gym is the name of my business in Eagan, Minnesota, and I absolutely love it. So I think that's kind of gonna be it. If you guys do have questions, just put them down below. I'll try to get back to everyone. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next video.